Hello again and welcome to Ndudu by Fafa. Hello Ndudu natives, thank you again for tuning in for another exciting episode with Fafa. Okay, so today I'll be making the red Thai curry, but I'll be using West African ingredients and flavors, yes, to replace the classic flavors that typically the Thai would use in making their paste and hence making their sauces. So anyway, I'd leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, fafagilbert.com. So do check it out. And whilst you're there, please don't forget to subscribe. So why am I doing this? So each time I do enjoy my red Thai curry, I cannot help but compare it to the, classic traditional Ghanaian groundnut soup, or may I say peanut butter soup, especially if you're in the diaspora, you end up with the peanut butter, I guess, yes. And so I was like, what are some of the elements of the red Thai curry that, I can replace with West African spices and flavors to get that distinctive flavor? Exactly. Because, of course, the red Thai curry includes coconut milk, but this I'm going to exclude it. So, of course, one needs their peanut butter to start this recipe. And then I've got my aniseed, which has that licorice flavor. And also it has the sweet flavor which mimics in a way lemongrass, even though it's not as perfumery as it is, but it adds that element to it. The next thing is the fermented locust beans, which is locally known as dawa dawa. That gives this dish that umami flavor that it requires. So in replacement of that, you can use your fish sauce or fermented shrimp paste for it. So the next spice I'll be using will be cubeb. Now, cubeb was introduced to Africa by the Arabs, and you would find it predominantly in most Moroccan dishes. And in some Ghanaian dishes, you will find it, but it's not something that I'd say is widely used, but it is used. It is there, so you definitely need to check it out. So it looks like black peppercorns, but with little tails. Yes, that is it. And the flavor of it is a mixture of black peppercorns and allspice. So in the absence of the cubeb, you can use the African nutmeg and also black peppercorns, and that gives you a similar flavor, but then it doesn't give you that sourness that it requires. But when you do add the grains of saline, yes, those three would actually make the cubeb. So just having the cubeb, it means you've got three elements of flavor in that little spice. So a little goes a long way. You don't want too much. So if you don't have lemon or lime to add to a dish, you can sort of like add the cubeb to it and it goes a long way. So anyway, let's talk about our next ingredient. Typically in the traditional red Thai curry, galangal is used. Now, galangal has that flavor of ginger and lemon or citrusy flavor. So it's like a citrusy ginger flavor. So, of course, I'm going to be using my fresh ginger and I will be adding some lemon juice to it. I will be using my garlic and some cumin seeds, which are going to lend that woody and also citrusy flavor to the dish. Now, I've also got my sun-dried tomatoes, my banana shallots, and some red chilies. Absolutely. And, in the absence of the sun-dried tomatoes, you can use your tomato puree or your tomato paste. And that will give it that distinctive red color as well. But not too much. You just want to balance it, and it's just incredible. And there is my lemon juice. So that is my base of, substitute flavors that I'm going to use for my West African infused and flavored peanut butter soup, or may I say the red Thai curry without the coconut milk. Yeah. So with the exception of the fermented locust beans, which is the dawa dawa, and the peanut butter, I'm going to be blending everything else into a beautiful smooth paste. Exactly. And when I do, I'm going to divide that spice blend in half. And the second half, I will add the peanut butter to it and blend that and also reserve it because, of course, I'll be using that later on in the recipe. So if this is your first time, you're welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is a creative cooking channel. If you like what you see so far, please click the subscribe button and also activate your notifications so you do not miss any future videos. So for this recipe, I'll be using chicken, and I've just divided my chicken into 2 whole parts. Of course, normally one can actually, cut their chicken into little pieces, but me, I wanted that whole half a chicken to myself, if you know what I mean. Yes. But what am I doing here? So I'm marinating the chicken in the first part of my blend, which does not include the peanut butter, because I'm going to be grilling the chicken, and that's just going to introduce that smoky flavor to my dish. So I've just added some peanut oil to the marinade, and also I'm going to be adding my lemon juice as well to the chicken, and I'm just going to mix everything together and of course ensure that this chicken is well marinated. So you can marinate the chicken for a minimum of an hour. Now if you can do this the day before and marinate your chicken and leave it in the fridge, that's even better. But if you're doing a shabu shabu version, yeah, definitely an hour as a minimum helps a lot. Now, why have I omitted coconut milk from this recipe? It wasn't intentional, it's because I didn't have any at home. And yes, it's this lockdown restriction and it was just too much of an effort to go out. But then I substituted it with something. I just needed that little sweetness to it. So you just add that little bit of honey to it, and that makes a big difference. It's that yin and yang balance of flavors, if you know what I mean. And here I've just added some freshly milled black peppercorns. I've covered this beauty, left it for an hour. Come back. Now it's time for me to add my salt to taste and then rub it all over. My grill is preheated to 180 degrees. I'm going to grill this bad girl for 25 minutes. And whilst I enjoy a lovely cup of tea, or something else. Anyway, yeah. So after 25 minutes, this is what I have. This is beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. This is not any other food. This is Ndudu by Fafa. So at this point, the remaining spice blend, I've then mixed it with the peanut butter, added some water, blended some more, and here we have it. So now I'm going to add that beauty to my chicken. So it's just the way that, I've done the grilling of the chicken, which has that sort of smoky flavor permeating through. And now we've got that peanut-based flavor as well going through. And I'm going to allow this to simmer beautifully. There's no interruptions. At this point, this is such an easy, straightforward dish to make. But I think because I had to explain the flavors, that's why it would seem like a bit of a long video. So here I've got my fermented locust beans, and I'm using my grater to grate it. It's almost like a truffle, may I say. And this fermented locust beans known as dawa dawa, is one of the most traditional, an ancient way of flavoring most West African dishes. So you definitely need to try it. And as I said, it has that intense umami flavor that one requires. So of course, I've just added that to the soup. And then good old bay leaf. Yes, I'm going to add my bay leaf to it and mix everything together until it's well combined. And allow this to simmer. And, at least get that consistency of the soup to be a little bit on the thicker side and a bit of the, peanut oil settling at the top. Not too much, but just so. Yes. Now, if you do like what you see, please smash the like button and share with your family and friends and invite them over because this is a flavor zone. Absolutely. Ndudu by Fafa, yeah. Koba Ndudu and Yukwelu. Fafa, come on, Ndudu and blow Fafa. I love the flavors are all in my bala. Ndudu Vivin, Dr. Ndudu. Hey, Abonka. I am going to be slow cooking this beauty for 45 minutes on that medium to low heat, all because of the size of the chicken. If I had the chicken in small pieces, then the cooking time will be less. But that is not the case here. Yes. Anyway, so I'm now adding my homemade crayfish sauce. In the absence of that, of course, you can use your crayfish powder or your smoked crayfish or smoked prawns or shrimp powder. That goes a long way. It makes the dish. And of course, if you do have the coconut milk, unlike me, yes, I don't want to go through this pain. No, yeah, it's okay. You can add a little bit of honey, which I did later, especially if the mixture is on the aromatic side. That balances it out. So I'm going to allow this to simmer, as I said, for 45 minutes. And after about every 10 minutes, I'll just stir it just to make sure that, it's not catching at the bottom and everything is cooking perfectly. So here we have the pièce de résistance. It's almost done. What say you? Are you inspired to try this recipe? So I've just added my petit belle chilies, locally known as kwakbushato, and you know that the story is coming to an end. I then garnished it with some fresh basil, so you can get the akokumesa or koklube or the local Ghanaian basil, and that goes a long way. Now you'll be surprised what I serve this with. Yes, Gary is exactly what I'm serving this with. Now, this was a firm favorite during my childhood, especially when, your peanut butter soup or your groundnut soup is a day old, or you've just got the remnants left and you just add a little bit of Gary. It goes a long way. So I'm paying homage to a memory that is filled with fondness, may I say. So here I've got the Gary and I've just added some of the sauce to it, and I'm going to mix everything together. The Gary would absorb everything just as like couscous would when you introduce any sauce to it. So I formed a beautiful bowl. Now, I'd say Gabri predominantly is consumed by Ghanaians and Nigerians, and as well as Togolese. Yes, it's an incredible ingredient that we use for everyday dish. Be it has got a lot of starch in there, but a little goes a long way. So I've just molded that into a bowl. And here I've served it with my chicken, added a bit of my crayfish sauce to it. And this is my pièce de résistance. Now, if you like what you see, smash the like button. And of course, naturally, I'll leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, fafagilbert.com, so do check it out. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat as Ndudu by Fafa, so pass by and say hi. No, thank you very much for my theme song. And on to my next video. Take care of you. And guess what? Me, I love you for you. Thank you very much for watching.